Hi everyone, I hope you're having a lovely Easter. Welcome to another YouTube video with me, Mr. Cool. So we're going to have a quick look over what's coming up in your Paper 2 mock, which is your first lesson back after Easter. And I've had a few emails and questions about what exactly is going to come up in the exam, or what types of things are going to come up in the exam. So I thought I'd just go through the kind of key things that that you really need to know about. So first of all, we can kind of divide the exam up into three main areas. We've got urban issues and challenges. Let's put issues and shall. We then have changing economic world. I'll put world. And then resource management. Okay. I'll put MGMT. And this is exactly the same for what you'll find in your exam in a couple of months' time. In fact, less than a couple of months' time. Okay. So first of all, we start with urban issues and challenges. We'll start off with our Nottingham topic that we did. So okay, we'll look at Notts. Okay. Now the Nottingham topic relies on a whole different range of things, but essentially we'll be looking at social and economic challenges. Social, economic, let's do it fully. Challenges, some environmental challenges as well, and solutions. Okay, so we looked at, for example, how like health in somewhere like Woollerton was 10 years, people expect to live 10 years longer than somewhere in like St Anne's. Okay, so we have those extreme social challenges, and we looked at all sorts of different ways of that Nottingham had gone through improvements. So like a recreational improvement was the Nottingham Ice Arena, where there's all sorts of gigs on, and it provides about 2,000 jobs, boosted local economy by about £10 million. So lots of different things for you to think of there. Okay, and I've provided quite a few of you with a more in detail Nottingham revision guide, but obviously if you need a new one, come and find me. Okay, we also need to just have a quick think about redevelopment, and we learnt about the lace market. Okay, the lace market in Nottingham that's being redeveloped. Now if you wanted some other things as well, you might want to consider the Nottingham Forest ground being redeveloped as well. Also, we just had a quick look at a place called Freiburg, which is in Germany, which was a sustainable town or city. So I'm just going to put, it's kind of a weird add-on really, but I'm just going to put Freiburg there. Freiburg, okay, as like it's a German town where they basically use a lot of solar energy. Next thing I'd like you to just have a think about is Rio de Janeiro. Again, I've got more specific guides for Rio de Janeiro that you're more than welcome to come and get. And again, it's really similar to Nottingham. We need to look at the social, economic challenges and solutions that exist in Rio de Janeiro. Essentially they're wide-ranging, but things like the economic challenges are people not paying tax by doing market work, that kind of thing, or drugs, whereas social challenges are all sorts, from things like quality of schooling, health benefits, getting fresh water, all those different kinds of things. So Notts and Rio really do share quite a lot of kind of ideas about where they go from them. Next thing you need to just understand is about urbanisation and megacities. Okay, so for urbanisation, urbanisation basically means moving from the countryside to the city. So you might want to think about what are the push and pull factors. Okay, and of course megacities, the big thing about megacities is they have a population of more than 10 million people. Okay, and they're often located around the coast. Okay, pretty much all megacities are located on the coast because of things like trade, how important sea trade is still, but how important it was about 200 years ago, as well as these cities start to grow and grow. Okay, let's have a look at changing economic world. So ultimately you're going to have to learn or recap things about this stuff like HDI, which is our Human Development Index, and how do we get poor countries or poorer LICs or kind of NEs more developed. Okay, and there's all sorts of things that you could be thinking about here, but a lot of it are things like how uneven development occurs. and how we can use, how we can reduce the gap. That's the big thing. Okay, reduce the development gap. And if you have a look in your knowledge organizer, we've got a really good knowledge organizer for changing economic world. Have a read through that because it will really, really help you. Okay, one of the big things, so we'll just go through like fair trade. Okay, I'll put brackets fair trade. Okay, fair trade, looking at fair trade. Does it work as a system for reducing the gap? Debt relief. Okay, remember that lots of Central African countries are in debt because of, well, for a whole variety of factors, but essentially countries like the United Kingdom have started to say, okay, you don't have to pay back that debt anymore. Or tourism. We looked at Kenya, but you can also look at Jamaica. How is tourism impacting and reducing the gap that exists in our economic world between the rich countries and the poor countries? Okay, within that as well, we have our Nigeria topic. Okay, and for Nigeria, we looked at different types of aid that went in. We looked at TNCs, and our big TNC was Shell. If you have a look through your Nigeria booklet, you see a huge amount of Shell. And a lot of it will be thinking about, is Shell a positive or negative influence? The impact on the environment as well. So there was the Bodo oil spill that we looked at. Bodo oil spill. Okay, and ultimately a lot of what you're asked to do in this section is look at whether the impact of TNCs is a positive thing in Nigeria. Again, it's up to you, just got to support it. Okay, within the next bit as well, we looked at the UK. I think that was our final topic. Yeah, it was our final topic that we looked at. So how has the economy changed? We've moved from manufacturing to tertiary industry, so providing a service, now moving into quaternary as well. So it's a huge shift in the economy from the 1970s right the way to today. We looked at a variety of like transport and how does the United Kingdom influence the world. We looked at things like Doctor Who, okay, these huge TV shows globally. We also looked at the North-South divide, okay, places like Cumbria, where we know there's currently in a specific part is quite a big drugs problem. Okay, so for that UK one, you're going to have to be thinking about all those different things. It's almost like it's its own subtopic, to be honest. Final one then, resource management. So we looked very briefly at food, water and energy, 3 different things, okay? But we focused predominantly on food insecurity, okay? Or food security. Now you need to be wary that in the exam you'll have to answer just the section on food. There'll be a section on food, a section on water and a section on energy, and you need to make sure you answer the section on food. So we looked at all sorts. We looked at global supply. We looked at malnourishment. And how we can combat malnourishment. We had a look at the IBIS, which was the Indus Basin irrigation system. And we looked at things like sustainable food production. Food production. Okay, so there's a really big wide variety of things in there. We also need to just be aware that we might need to talk very briefly at the start of the exam about food, water, or energy. Okay, water, energy. Alright, let's just have a quick recap then. So like key case studies that you need to be locked down in your head. First of all, Nottingham. Okay, get that case study, use the case study infographics to really understand Nottingham case study, because there will be a question on it. Again, similar, Rio de Janeiro. Use the Rio de Janeiro infographics or the more specific guide for that as well. if we just go around Nigeria, okay, use your revision booklets, learn about Nigeria as much as possible. I would say especially thinking about the environment and TNCs and aid, okay. Have a look at all those different things. Next, we need to understand as much as possible about the UK. And finally, food, okay. Get those kind of down. The specific case studies, Nottingham, Rio, Nigeria and the UK. There's lots of different kind of offshoots from there as well. Okay. As per usual, any questions, just come and find me. Also, we have our revision session on Tuesday 16th, 10 till 2 p.m. You must come along. It's really, really important that you do that to ensure success. And we'll be doing a few different bits and bobs on the day. A bit of kind of how to answer questions in the morning. A bit more on how to read maps again. We'll do a recap on map reading and just some more key skills that me and Mr. Servant think are important from there on in. All right, any questions, feel free just to email me. You now know my email address, but also you're more than welcome to comment on YouTube or message me through YouTube, and I'll get back in contact with you as soon as possible. All right, have a lovely holidays and see you later.